Hey, you guys, welcome back to the Unsilent.
It's been a while.
It's been quite a bit of time.
A bit over a year.
Yeah. So, a lot of reasons is we're both in school. We don't have time to record right now.
Yeah.
So, the episode, how often they'll be coming out is very
unknown.
Yeah.
It could be one every month. It could be one every 2 weeks. It could be one a year.
Who knows? It will be a crazy ride here, but we're happy to have it with y'all. So because it is Women's History Month, we decided to hit on women's rights and different women things right now.
Including one of my favorite topics of why are men so afraid of women nowadays?
Yeah, it's ridiculous how scared men are of women. It's not ridiculous. Well, it is ridiculous because it's a lot of
pathetic.
Yeah.
It's pathetic is what it is.
Because it's a lot of the women's faults. Yeah. And as a woman myself, I will say that.
I mean, some of it is on men, but it's on everyone. But a lot of it nowadays is on women.
Yeah. So pretty much one thing we do know is that men nowadays will not ask women out. If a woman wants to go on a date, she's going to be the one to initiate it. Why? Because women have scared men.
Well, yeah, nowadays, if a guy goes to ask out, if say you're at school or something, right, and a guy approaches a woman at the library or something, he is seen as a creep now, and they freak out.
That's girl, he might have been just asking you a simple question, hey, do you know where this book is? I mean, it doesn't even have to be. She'll still freak out.
You know what's kind of funny?
What?
So one of the things I've been seeing recently is there's this guy on my campus who has been going around and he will match people up because they don't ask each other. So he'll go up and be like, what are you looking for in a guy? And they'll be all like this and this. And so then he'll go interview some guys and find one for her and then match them up. Because guys are afraid to ask nowadays. And so he's just like, I'm going to take advantage of this,
And you see, I definitely get where men are coming from because some women are scary. I have or had a friend who is a very interesting character. Very dark makeup, very, very alternative pick. It's weird how she is. One thing she is known for is scaring men, though. And
well, yeah, the things she has done to them.
Yeah.
Accusing them of things because they broke up.
Or because they didn't want to date her, or, yeah. It's crazy, man.
If a guy says, it happens all the time. A woman wants something, and a guy says no. And then a woman's like, well, then I'm going to accuse you of this. And what's the guy supposed to do? That could ruin his life.
Yeah, and it's this is not a brag, but I've gone on dates with many guys in my lifetime. You have witnessed a lot of them.
Flavors of the week.
Hey, there was a flavor of the year once.
Yeah, once. But
a lot of it was still when we were in high school, though. And one thing this friend used to be like is she didn't understand why guys were more comfortable talking to me rather than her. And I'm like, well, have you heard what you do to guys? You will throw out...
You ruin their lives, and you get a reputation for it.
And, they obviously don't want that accusation on them, so might as well go for the girl's best friend who, is chill with almost every single guy in their grade.
Yeah.
Granted, a few of them are just a-holes.
Well, there's a-holes all around.
Yeah. But, I want to,
Yeah.
Joyce. Another thing is, his significant other has a fun gym story. Would you like to share that?
Yeah. So, my girlfriend has a friend that she goes to the gym with, right? He's a guy. And he's more fluid in his sexuality, so he doesn't care women, men, or anything like that. And nowadays you hear all these women being like, I hate when men are checking us out in the gym and all that. And if they approach, women will scream nowadays if a guy approaches them in the gym, even if it's for safety or something, if they're doing a workout wrong, they'll freak out. And it's kind of crazy, but what doesn't help is when there are some guys like that. And my girlfriend's friend that she goes to the gym with, he will constantly be pointing out a bunch of like guys and how good they look and all that the entire session. It's like, you're not there to check people out. You're there to work out. Like, and nowadays stuff like that, which that is on a guy's fault right there, but stuff like that is reason why women made such a that's the reason why women in the first place made such a big push and started freaking out. But now I feel like it's gone to an extreme, and now men are just afraid in general.
Yeah. So me and his girlfriend go to the same gym at different times. I never see her, but I remember one time going into the locker room. These girls were like checking out this guy. They were like talking about him, talking about what they would do to him, and I'm like, what would you do if a guy was saying this about you? You would freak the fuck out, dude.
You'd have a whole panic attack. You'd be posting it on the internet, trying to ruin that guy's life.
Yeah, it's like, it's ridiculous, but like, it's okay if we do it?
Yeah,
because we have boobs? Like, no.
Yeah, it's such a double standard.
It's not okay. And for instance, like, I am very much so, I want to make sure I have the right form at the gym.
Yeah.
And if a guy comes up and is like, hey, what muscle are you trying to target? And I tell him, I'm not going to freak out for him asking to show me how to do it better.
Yeah.
Because it's like, obviously, I'm there to grow muscle and get like more fit. Like, yeah. I will not be upset how you like approach me with that situation. Like, I mean, unless you were a total dick about it, but like this dude literally was like, hey, you're trying to target your back. You are currently using your shoulders more than your back. Do it this way.
Yeah, but if a guy approaches a woman nowadays, a lot of times they'll freak out.
I was kind of surprised he did.
Like, and that's what guys are afraid to at this point. We'd rather somebody get hurt than approach them. So
one of my friends I went to high school with, because I asked them why they might be scared to ask out women.
Mm-hmm.
Good old him replied, well, the most women now think all men are predators and mainly guys that are big. And if you look at our generation, have babies has dropped a bunch, which is also getting people not married. Or they're going to other countries to get wives. Even I thought about it.
Oh, yeah, it's crazy. The amount of people getting married has declined significantly. We've seen that the population is going to peak in about 2050. The population is going to peak in the world, and it's going to start dropping back down.
And you see, I have been the girl who fantasized about her wedding day since I was little. He can testify to that. He's seen my Pinterest boards. And it's like the fact that women don't want to get married now, like, is so bizarre to me. Because I'm like, I know women who like will be like, no, I'm strong, independent woman. And I'm like, you can be a strong, independent woman all you want.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you don't need a companion when you do it. Like,
no, everybody needs help nowadays. Yeah. Everybody needs somebody.
It's so true. And it's like crazy how men are just like, because like, don't get me wrong, there are creepy men.
There are.
I can attest to that. Some men in the gym are very creepy. Typically, they're older. And I'm not trying to stereotype, but typically they're older, and I kind of get a little uncomfy, and that's why I go to the back treadmills. But that's just like a personal preference.
But either way, it's like
I'm there to work out. What's going on behind me and around me does not matter unless I'm going to get hurt or someone else is going to get hurt, you know?
Exactly.
But yeah, and it's like, you wonder why we have such a decline in all this, you know?
It's crazy. Like, it's a whole problem. Like, you've seen Elon Musk tweeting about it, and he'll be like, population is going down and all this. Japan's having a freak out because they've had record lows of people getting married. This generation, it's like a lot of people are just like, no, I'm not going to get married. I'm not going to go for that. It's such a risk.
But yeah, men are genuinely scared to get married. And like on the Japan fact, my cousins live in Japan, right?
Yeah.
So I have one female cousin and one male cousin, and then my aunt and uncle. My male cousin refuses to get married, mainly because he's like, I don't know, he could be a little fruity. We're still not sure yet. not confirmed. But my female cousin's like, well, I don't want to get married because I want to go to the U.S. but my mom won't let me go to the US. And it's like, why does that affect if you can or cannot get married, though?
Well, it's crazy. So, like, what I was going to continue on from earlier was men are so afraid to get married nowadays because they're just afraid that they're only going to get married and the person's just going to divorce and take half their stuff away.
Oh, I know. So
it's such a big thing nowadays.
That reminds me. One of the guys the guy, not one of them. The guy.
One of the guys.
There's only one right now, you guys, which is impressive for me. The guy I'm talking to right now is in the military, and one of his roommates that he shares a room with keeps saying that I need to sign a prenup because of that exact reason. And I'm like, dude, if I was gonna go for the money in the military, I'm going for the wrong branch right now.
Yeah.
Like, I would be going Air Force, not the branch I'm currently going for.
Yeah. But no, seriously, like, if I ever get married, like, that's one thing I'm very concerned about, and I'd be like, I want to sign a prenup. And that could change, but is this something scary nowadays? I've seen it happen to way too many people.
And you see, personally, like, we live in a very, like, safer state, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like, compared to a lot of
states, we have a much higher marriage rate, much lower divorce rate, and all of that. But it's still such a big concern.
Also have really, like, our age of marriage is also really low, which is why I'm always surprised to find out we have a lower divorce rate. Because, like, half of our grades already engaged in getting married, and I'm like,
we're barely in college, and a bunch of the people we know are getting married, and it's insane.
Like, second year of freshman.
I know people who have kids and are getting married too, and it's like, holy crap.
It's like, hold on, take a deep breath.
Hold on, guys.
Granted, we are from a smaller town, but yeah, it's just crazy to me because it's like, I feel like we just graduated and now it's like all of a sudden, like, and then even then kids from the grade below us who haven't graduated yet, I know, are engaged or stuff like that. And I'm like,
well, yeah, it's crazy.
Like, dang, which is why I feel like a lot of the guys in our state are maybe a little bit more confident about it compared to guys in California or New York or Georgia, or like those states that are super duper populated, But
and then there's a lot of more reasons. Like, guys nowadays are so compared to now. Like, women hate it when guys judge women for anything, and it's like there's a point of standards, Like, you can have standards, that's okay. And a lot of people get so upset when a guy, like, you'll hear all these women who are like, I want a guy who's tall, and I want a guy who works out, and all of this. And then they get mad when a guy has the same standards.
That just reminds me of, like, back in high school, and we had, like, my full standard list of, like, a guy.
I think I still have it.
Oh my gosh. Literally, it was, like, a huge list of standards, and at the very bottom, or a pizza delivery
guy.
Car, plus food, plus month, plus job. Good enough,
It was hilarious.
But, like, it was a huge list, too. Like,
I think I might have deleted the post.
It was, like, brunette, green or blue eyes. No, it was green or brown eyes. I've never been a fan of blue eyes, but only date guys with blue eyes. It's super weird. Texas. Like, I was, like, it was huge. Okay? Like, it was a huge
list. I'm trying to see if I can find it. I think I deleted it, though.
But then... Also, at the same time, like, I also know that standards are a thing. Like, I'm not going to date someone who doesn't have high standards for themselves. But also, at the same time, they should set standards for women that they would like. Because it's like, everyone has preferences. Like, personally, I'm not going to date a guy who doesn't have a dick. Like, that's a standard I have. Very off topic, yes, but it's like I have a standard where no, it's not transphobic to want to date a dude that's a dude, and so a dude that just turned a dude.
It's just something you want.
But like, even like, there's more than that. Like, I also want someone who values family, who values this, and it's like
You
I
need that to have a family.
It's like I value someone who is a hard worker, who is willing to put in work, who's a communicator, because Lord knows I suck at communication. But like that's just my personal preferences, and like I would expect the guy who I'm dating or talking to also have preferences that I match
He
with.
needs to have standards too.
And like obviously I'm gonna match with those standards, or why would he be dating me? You know. But yeah, it's just bizarre to me, and I know like you have standards.
Yeah.
Like
I have a bunch. Like I'm not going to really go into detail just because of time, but there was another thing I want to talk about is nowadays when women do have those standards, which is okay, or they do say something, a lot of times they go too far with it or something, and then they just don't find anyone, or with some things they say that they think are compliments or something, it isn't. There's this this person on YouTube, TikTok, and all that called The Dadvocate, and I listen to them a lot, and one of their most popular videos is about women-splaining men to women. These aren't compliments. And I'll just play that video real quick for you guys. It has 5.5 million views on YouTube.
These are 3 things we keep saying to guys thinking they are compliments, and they are not. Number 1, you're the perfect size. The big ones hurt. I get that you genuinely mean that. In girl world, of course we prefer a like-sized partner who doesn't regularly hurt us. But in man world, dagger to the heart. I think a rule of thumb, no matter who you are, is just never compare your partner's body to your ex's body. Ever. How are you still single? You're trying to be nice, but what you're basically saying is, I would date a guy just like you, but not you. It doesn't register as a compliment to guys. And number 3, when you see a man with a child or doing household chores and you say, "Aw, it's so nice of you to help," definitely let guys know when they're keeping a good home or doing great with their kids, because guys really do need to hear that. But it's not helping, and it's definitely never babysitting.
yeah, no, I like my cousin will say that to her husband. It's like, oh, thanks for babysitting their kids, and it's like
It's his kids too.
like it's not babysitting. Granted, there are some guys that are very much so like, I don't need to take care of the kids. I don't need to watch them. Like that's a whole different issue for a whole different episode. Like that will be me.
Yeah.
Like yeah, that's just like a different episode topic altogether. But
I think one of the most important parts of that video was never compare bodies.
Yeah.
Because, like, women get so mad when men compare bodies, but women do it all the time.
Oh, yeah. Like,
and it's just something people do, and it's just a double standard. I'm not saying it's just women's fault or just men's fault. It's both, but it's something that really needs to stop.
And, like, that also goes into preferences, though, a lot, I feel like, because it's, like, preference with, like, I prefer more of, like, a muscular dad bod.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want bodybuilder.
Well, yeah, you need somebody who takes care of themselves.
Takes care of themselves, but, like, if they have a little fluff, who cares?
Yeah.
You know? Like,
it's your preference.
Yeah. And, like...
But you can't get mad when a guy has their own preferences as well.
Like, if a guy was like, oh, I prefer my girls to be, like, more petite and small and, like, stuff like that, that's their preference. That's their choice. Like, I'm not going to judge you for that. Like,
but the problem is so many people do. And they get all upset about it, and that's not right.
No, it's not. Okay, like, you can't be having that double standard to the point where it's like no. Like, I obviously would prefer a guy taller, because I am fairly tall as a female.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But also, I've dated short guys.
Yeah.
Like,
yes, you have.
I've dated shorter guys. I've dated tall guys. I really haven't dated tall guys, actually.
You've dated average.
I've dated average, yeah. Which is like an inch taller than me, maybe 2, if we're being lucky.
About the same, but yeah.
About the same height. Like, I'm tall for a female, though. So it's like, it's hard for me to date guys that are taller than me. Especially because, like, in my eyes, tall is, like, 5'8", mainly because my older brother's 5'8". So it's, like, cool. When I say tall, I'm, like, tall. At least 6 foot. But
you were saying 5'8", you meant 6'8".
Yeah. Oh, yeah, 6'8". He's not 5'8". He is 6'8". I'm 5'8". But like it's just standards. If a guy would prefer a girl shorter, that's his choice.
Yeah.
Like I can't be mad at him for that. Like sure, rejection sucks, but everyone goes through it, you know?
Exactly.
But
I think that's probably all we're going to be able to cover today.
yeah.
But thank you for joining us on this episode the first episode in a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we did kind of record one a few weeks ago, but
It did not go well.
It was chaotic because it was very
Very, very fast.
very fast, all over the place. No one knew what was going on. This time we were like, okay, wait, hold on.
We hope you enjoyed this episode. Hopefully we can get more out eventually, but
We might work on trying to figure out a way to both of us record in our separate locations.
and then combine it.
Combined it because I think I have the software on my computer
Okay.
and stuff like that. But
Thank you for listening, and we'll see you
later.
sometime.
Bye, you guys.